Ever wished you had, like an app-building magic wand? Something to whip up sleek designs on any screen you could imagine.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're diving deep into today. Flutter.
Ooh.
It might just be the closest we've got, and we're going straight to the source, Flutter's own website, to see what all the hype is about.
And believe me, there's plenty of hype to go around.
Oh, I bet. Even from a quick glance, the word fast is everywhere.
Right.
They keep saying Flutter code compiles to ARM or Intel machine code, as well as JavaScript, for fast performance on any device. Okay, but what's that actually mean for, like, someone scrolling through their phone?
Think about it like this. You ever used an app and it's just like sluggish, animations are laggy, transitions are all choppy?
Oh, the worst.
Yeah, Flutter's whole deal is getting rid of that. It wants your app running smooth as butter, even on those older phones. 60 frames per second, that's the goal, and that equals happy users.
Okay, speed is key, but building the thing quickly matters too. I see hot reload everywhere. Is it the productivity booster, it sounds like?
Oh, absolutely, it's a game changer.
Also.
So imagine you're tweaking your app's design and bam, you see the change right away. No waiting for the code to compile. That's hot reload.
So much faster.
Way faster, makes developing so much smoother. You can experiment, fine-tune, all on the fly.
That's huge. Being able to play around and tweak as you go, that's got to be huge for developers. But Flutter also mentions controlling every pixel for custom designs. How does that actually work?
So it's about giving developers total control. Imagine cooking up these really intricate animations that react perfectly to every tap and swipe, or designing these complex layouts that just morph seamlessly to different size screens.
Yeah.
That level of flexibility, that's what lets developers build truly unique, visually stunning stuff.
Wow, this is almost too good to be true. But before we get totally carried away, I did notice something interesting sprinkled throughout the website. Dartpad. What is Dartpad and why does it keep coming up?
Think of Dartpad like, a musical instrument, but for code.
Okay.
It's this online platform, right? And it lets you mess around with Flutter and its programming language, Dart, all without installing anything on your computer.
So it's like beginner friendly.
Totally. You can write code, see it work, get immediate results, just makes things easier.
Oh, I like easier.
Yeah. Right. And that plays into Flutter's whole thing, make app development fun and accessible, from newbies to the pros.
Love it. It's like breaking down barriers. But what about reaching a wider audience? You could build the most incredible app, but it's useless if it's stuck on one device.
Right.
That's where the whole multi-platform magic comes in.
Exactly. It's like we live in a multi-device world now. Phones, tablets, laptops, even our smart devices. They all want a piece of our attention, right?
Oh, too true.
And Flutter gets that. It lets you build your app once, just once, and then deploy it across iOS, Android, web, desktop, everything from a single code base.
Hold on. So instead of building like 5 different apps, you build one with Flutter.
Yeah.
And it magically works everywhere.
That's the idea.
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
But how does that multi-platform approach actually affect businesses and developers? Is it just about saving time, or is there more to it?
Oh, it's way more than just saving time, although that's a huge bonus. Imagine this. Instead of scrambling to manage separate teams for iOS, Android, and the web version, a company can have one super efficient team using Flutter to build for all of them at once.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right. That means they can push out updates faster, the whole development cycle gets streamlined, and ultimately the user, they get a better product quicker.
So it's not just working smarter, it's reaching more people without spreading yourself too thin.
Exactly.
That's awesome. But with all this talk about efficiency, reaching everyone, how can developers be sure Flutter's the real deal to build on? The source mentions being trusted by many. Even name drops Google as a user. Is that just marketing fluff, or is there something to it?
Oh, it's definitely more than just hype. When a giant like Google uses Flutter for something as important as Google Pay, that says a lot.
True, if Google trusts it with their money.
Exactly. But it's bigger than just Google. Flutter's got this whole global open source community thing going on.
What does that mean?
It means anyone can contribute to its development, so it's not just some closed door project at Google HQ.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's people from all over the world shipping in and making sure Flutter is the best it can be. That brings in so many different viewpoints, so much talent.
That's actually really cool. Okay, so we've got Google's seal approval, a global team behind it. But there's one last thing I got to know about Dart. The website mentions Dart as the language behind Flutter. So what is it, And what makes it special for app development? Is it, like, better than other languages?
Think of Dart as like the engine in a really high-performance car. It's what makes Flutter go,
Okay.
and it's a programming language. But here's the thing. Most of them weren't built for how we use apps today. You know, all the swiping and tapping.
Yeah.
Those languages can get kind of clunky trying to make those smooth animations and transitions that users want. Dart is different. It was made for this.
So it's like custom built for making apps beautiful A&D responsive.
Exactly. And Dart's secret weapon, it can talk directly to different devices' hardware.
What if...
So your Flutter app, written in Dart, it can run super efficiently, sometimes even better than apps built with fancier languages.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So Dart isn't just another language. It's what gives Flutter that speed and performance edge.
Right.
Speaking of edges, with so many frameworks and platforms out there, what makes Flutter stand out?
Well, we've talked about the speed, the cross-platform thing, the beautiful UIs, but Flutter's real power is how it tackles app development as a whole. It's not just about writing code, it's about crafting these like really polished experiences for the user.
Crafting experiences. That
Lots of
sounds
visual-
very intentional. What makes Flutter so good at that?
It really is about the whole package. A big part of it is the control it gives you over every single pixel on the screen.
Right, like we were talking about before.
Exactly. That level of detail, it lets you customize and tweak things in a way that most frameworks just can't match. You can really express your vision, you know?
So it's not just following some pre-made template. It's about having the freedom to build something unique.
Exactly. Flutter's all about empowering developers to build apps that not only work great, but also look and feel amazing.
This makes me think back to Dartpad. Does it focus on experience extend to the developer experience too?
Oh, absolutely. Flutter's not just about making pretty apps. It's about making the whole development process smoother and honestly more fun. Remember those developer tools mentioned on the website?
Yeah.
They're not messing around. Flutter's got tons of tools, really detailed documentation, all to make a developer's life easier, you know?
So it's less about wrestling with code and more about bringing those cool app ideas to life.
Exactly. Flutter's about helping developers focus on creating.
It's like Flutter saying, we got this, you go make something awesome.
Haha. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And people are definitely responding to that. Ever wonder, like, how Flutter got so big? Was it an overnight success?
Now that you mention it, I am curious. Did Flutter take the app development world by storm from day one?
Well, it's like a lot of tech success stories, more of a slow and steady climb. Google first showed Flutter off back in 2015.
Okay.
And yeah, there was buzz, but it wasn't until a few years later when Flutter 1.0 came out that it really started taking off.
So it took some time for it to, like, spread its wings, for people to see how powerful it could be.
Yeah, you could say that. But since then, it's been a rocket ship.
From underdog to top dog, that's quite a journey. What do you think sparked that huge growth spurt?
It was a bunch of things coming together. The demand for cross-platform stuff exploded, and Flutter was there at the right time. Plus, Google's been putting in the work, making it better all the time, new updates, new features, and you can't forget the community.
Oh, right.
It's a whole bunch of passionate people supporting each other, sharing ideas. That's the beauty of open source.
It's like a snowball effect. The more people use it, the more they tell others, the bigger it gets.
Exactly, and that energy's still going strong. I mean, Flutter's used by some of the biggest names out there now: Google Pay, eBay, Alibaba, BMW, Toyota. The list goes on. It can handle pretty much anything you throw at it.
So, from underdog to top dog. But tech moves so fast. What about the future? Is Flutter a fad, or is it here to stay?
From where I'm standing, Flutter's got a bright future. It's open source, it's got Google support, that amazing community. All signs point to even more growth and innovation. And the whole build once, deploy everywhere thing, that's only going to be more important as our world gets more connected.
It's like that friend who just keeps getting cooler. Always learning new things, always pushing the limits.
Haha, I love that. And just like your cool friend, Flutter's not slowing down. If anything, it's just getting started.
That's exciting both for developers and, well, for users like us. Faster apps, smoother experiences, more creative designs. Who wouldn't want that?
Exactly. And the best part is we're still in the early stages of what Flutter can do. The possibilities are huge.
This has been a really eye-opening deep dive. We've learned that Flutter is fast, it's flexible, it's got a powerful community behind it, and it has the potential to totally change how we think about apps. But here's a final thought for you to chew on. What if YUU were the one building with Flutter? What world-changing app would you create? What experiences would you build? The only limit is your imagination. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.